they're some of my favorite people to write with that I keep coming back to and like I've built a friendship with. And so
Hmm.
those people I'm more likely to bring like a super personal idea to because I'm like, you get me, you know me. Like we don't have to start from the beginning. I walk into the room with these people that I've written with a million times or just that I'm friends with, and they're like, yeah, okay, I know your whole life. So you can tell me this and I get the context.
Right. Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, 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 everybody, to episode number 564. I missed you all. There's some things that have been going on behind the scenes, and I needed to take a break. You know, not fun stuff. I'll just leave it at that. But I've spent a lot of time not podcasting and not thinking about things and just kind of wandering around. That's what I've been doing. But you know, I wanted to get these episodes out because I love these chats so much, especially with my guest today, Taylor Bickett, who is we had a pretty deep conversation. She has a new song out that's been out for a bit called "The Crime," and it's pretty personal. And I think this is an important conversation to have, especially what's going on in the world today, and just how we can treat people better. So yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna be taking things a little bit slower, but I am back. And I hope you all enjoy my conversation with Taylor, because I did so much. Check out one of her tour dates. There's a couple left. But I'm done talking, all right? Let's get into this episode, okay? So everybody sit back, relax, and Taylor, take it away. Where are you at location-wise?
Well,
State-wise?
right now I'm in LA actually, just for the
Okay.
week, but I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay, okay. Are you there for like the moving and shaking and business deals and dollar bills flying in LA?
I'm just doing a writing trip, so it's
That's
just
right.
like sessions every day, but pretty much.
Okay, all right. Well, we're already getting into it because I love that idea of I want to go somewhere and just write and just
Yeah.
out of my element. Do you? What is it about that writing somewhere else?
I think I think for me it helps just to get out of my space that like has so many distractions and
Mm,
responsibilities. Like at my house in Nashville, I'm immediately thinking like, oh, I need to like clean this or I
mm,
need to get this for my room or I need to do this or blah blah blah. And I just like also all my friends are there too.
mm.
Not that I don't have friends in LA, but it's like everyone's like my roommates are like, "Hey, we should go watch a movie." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I'm like, "Shoot, I haven't written." I have FOMO. But being here specifically this trip, I'm cat sitting for a friend, so I
Mm,
have the house to myself, and it's up in Laurel Canyon, and it's just gorgeous up here, and it's very inspiring, and I need my alone time, I think, to
mm,
write. But then I'm writing on my own, but then every day I'm going to like a session with other people,
mm.
so I kind of get both.
Gotcha. Is the session with other people like? Do you ever have moments of I don't know if I can say this or like present this song because it's too personal, or like do you ever have those feelings when sharing your work?
Yeah. Totally. I'm kind of an open book,
Mm.
honestly. So I don't run into it maybe as much as other people do, just because I'm like, what do you want to know? I'll tell
Mm.
you. But obviously there are some things that like hit me really hard or that are really like deep and personal.
Hmm.
And Yeah, sometimes it's like I can't share that with someone just meeting them. Like they're some of my favorite people to write with that I keep coming back to and like I've built a friendship with. And so
Hmm.
those people I'm more likely to bring like a super personal idea to because I'm like, you get me, you know me. Like we don't have to start from the beginning. I walk into the room with these people that I've written with a million times or just that I'm friends with, and they're like, yeah, okay, I know your whole life. So you can tell me this and I get the context.
Right. No judgment.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just too like you kind of get a vibe
Yeah.
automatically if people are gonna like be receptive. And
Hmm.
most people, I feel like most people that I've worked with are just songwriters, artists. I feel like we tend to be pretty open-minded.
Hmm.
But I've had situations where I'm like, don't feel like I am comfortable sharing that. So maybe I'll pick like a more lighthearted song topic or something like that.
Right. Right. And is this openness, has that been a thing your whole songwriting career, or is it something that, I gotta learn to do that, or where did
I,
that come from?
I definitely think it was difficult at first because I
Hmm.
started out just writing by myself and it was a very personal, like just emotional, like it was the way I processed
Mm.
everything and it was just so personal to me and such like a private thing that I did. And so for a long time, like I didn't really co-write. And then I went to Belmont in Nashville and I took a songwriting class. And
Mm.
like for our actual grade, we had to collaborate with the people in the class. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And then it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when I first started out co-writing that I had to, I don't know, gear up to share in that way because it's not, I feel like for me, it's less about sharing vulnerable things about my life and
Hmm.
more about sharing my ideas
Mm.
like, oh, are they going to think this lyric is stupid? Or like, is this melody not good enough? Like it was more of like I wanted them to think I was a good songwriter the way I thought they
Right.
were a good songwriter. So
Yeah.
it's kind of you have both of those vulnerabilities happening at the same time.
And kind of thinking back at your previous work, is there a level of connectability to the writer you used to be to the writer you are now?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's the same person for
Yeah.
sure. But I have more confidence with it or
Mm.
I know it was a lot of just like I was definitely more timid to share my songs after I'd written them because I like wasn't sure if they were good. But besides that, like just the way I wrote, I feel like maybe I wasn't as ready to take risks or to say something like kind of crazy, like
Hmm.
because oh, I don't know, maybe someone's not going to get that. And
Right.
now I'm like, this is me. Here's how I want to say it. They get it or they don't. Like, there's a line to ride with that, and I feel like I found a better balance than maybe I used to have. But I
Hmm.
think the way I write, like my process and the feelings it evokes for me are still the same. I feel like they're the same since I was like a little kid. It's like it brings me back to that core person.
I love that. I love, I'm fascinated with people who write music because I can't even process how you would do that. Like, to get a story, I love writing like short films, and like, yeah, I can get a story out in
Mhm.
like 12 pages, but to get an
Right.
entire like feeling story out in like 3 minutes, I'm just like,
Mhm.
I don't know about that's wild. And you got to, it has to make sense. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
I'll leave that for the professionals.
No,
But yeah,
that's
I love hearing that you still connect with the younger you. Of course,
Mhm.
you're just more experienced now. But yeah, I always think it's interesting when people do connect with themselves on you know throughout the years.
It's funny because I do hear a lot of artists be like, "Oh, I hate everything I wrote before
Mm-hmm.
this or something." And like sometimes I have those feelings, of course, but that I like will actually sit and like listen to something I wrote like 6 years ago, and I'm like, "Oh, like I remember that time in my life. That is like a snapshot of who
Yeah.
I am." And maybe if someone played it, I'd be a little embarrassed. Like if someone was like, "Let's listen to Taylor's first single," I'd be like, "Turn that off."
All right.
But it's me. So I can't shut it out completely.
Do you ever have the feeling of, what, look, I love this person, I love the feelings, What if I just modernized it to who I am, my voice today? Do you ever have that thought?
Yeah, I've definitely like gone back. Like I just have been writing stuff in my notes
Mm.
for years, like my notes app on my phone. And so sometimes I just like scroll to the bottom and I'm like, what do we got here? And sometimes there's things that I'm like, oh, I can totally like use this or
Mm.
rework this or whatever. So, because it sometimes helps get me out of my head and my current space and just like, I don't know, it's easier to be creative when you're getting, I don't know, like stimulus from all different sides. It's just like to have that completely different perspective that you wouldn't have thought to grab on. That can be
Right.
super helpful sometimes.
Right. I again love that. Kind of going. We really dove in, and I love that. But I'm always curious when about the origins. For you, what was it that came first? Was it the writing or the music that really kind of gripped you?
Well, it's kind of both, but it's separately at first. So like
Hmm.
I've always loved music. I've always loved singing. And I've seen old clips of me from like 3 years old, like making up
Oh,
songs and like forcing my family to listen to them, but they're like
yeah.
nonsense, you know? So it's like they always went together. I
Mm.
specifically remember I would have this like CD of Disney songs, and I would make up counterparts, like
Mm.
sometimes with different words or like what I started like later learned to be harmony or just like a side, like I would imagine there was a third character and I would sort of
Yeah.
like and I would do that all the time. And so it was like I was in a way writing music without knowing what that was.
Hmm.
Um, but then I also just love to write, period. Like I'd write short stories and I thought for sure I was like, I want to be an author. I was just like a voracious reader, big into like all the series as a kid, like Harry Potter took over
Mm.
my life, like all of that. And I I remember or my mom told me recently that they had asked me like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, either an author or a singer. I was like, oh, turns out you can be both. And that's
Yeah.
what I am now. Um, but I went to, throughout high school and college, singing was definitely more of my focus. Like I did musicals
Mm.
and show choir and all of the things. I was super in that world. I thought I wanted to like do musical theater,
Hmm.
and then I realized that like I wanted like more creativity and like to like kind of make my own music.
Hmm.
Um, and so when I went to college, I was a voice major, so it was still very heavy onto the vocal performance side of things, but it's sort of when I really discovered my love for songwriting,
Mm.
was in college.
Okay. Okay. If there's one thing we love on this podcast, it's a musical theater person because my girlfriend has her BFA, so
Oh, really?
it's with the territory, yeah,
Yes.
and I do personally. I feel, and not being an acting student or anything like that, I was in the woods, kind of similar, but not very at all. I could have built sets, but whatever.
Oh,
Like acting and yeah, and theater, that is just everybody needs to take a theater class. It gets you out of your shell. It gets you talking with people, doing things that you're maybe afraid to do. And yeah, I just feel like that's something that just does need to be required. And I thought that before I met my girlfriend. So it's, yeah, I love that that training helped you transition into, something similar, but also different.
totally. Yeah, I would say that like the skills I learned to put myself out there in
Mm.
theater is probably what has contributed to me being able to put myself out there vulnerability wise in writing songs, like that like it's hard. It's so hard to get on stage and I was a painfully shy kid. I was
Mm.
like really really introverted. And so it was like I had to like fight through that like stage fright sort of thing.
Hmm.
Once I was on stage, I was loving it, but it was like the wind up. I was so in my head
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
and it's definitely yeah, it helps me even like music aside. It just helps me in my life, like to be a more confident person. I think.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I love that. And yeah, I totally get that. It's just like, Oh man, I used to, back in the day with the podcast, I would get so scared of these interviews that I would just hope somebody canceled. Like, just please, somebody cancel on me, because I can't do this. I'm going to be horrible. And then once we
Yeah.
get talking, I'm like, oh, I'm in it. Okay. Anyway, so what's going on?
Totally.
It's that thing of like, oh man, the anticipation, I guess. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
No, I've felt that way sometimes with like with a right. I'm like, oh, they just need to cancel because like they're gonna hate me. They're gonna think I'm terrible at the end of this. Like, and then usually that's like the best session you have that week or something. Like the one you
right.
were for.
Ah, I love that. And so, um, hearing that you're a bit introverted, where does even going through the theater and to today, like where does that need for performing come from? Like why do it?
Yeah, it's funny, like I think I definitely was an introverted kid,
Hmm.
but I actually really as an adult get my energy from being around people. And I think that's
Mm.
part of why I struggled so much because I was just so shy.
Hmm.
And so it was easier for me and it was less anxiety inducing to be alone than to be with people or, to put myself out there with people. But I've realized like I actually, I'm like nowadays probably definitely like more extroverted. I've never been this like huge personality, like look at
Hmm.
me,
Yeah.
but I love to be around people. So that's definitely like a factor. But I don't know, there's just something about like I think music can break down barriers
Hmm.
in such a cool way and to be able to like tell a story and to impart an emotion. Like I feel like my whole life is built around can I express what I feel? Like that's what I think
Right.
about all day, every day. Everything I experience, I'm like, how can I express this?
Hmm.
And so it's like to be able to express it and then to have people be moved by it or to relate or like you feel connected to them in this like magical way.
Hmm.
And I feel like music and singing, it's also just something I love to do. And I just love to sing all day, every day, like around the house, whatever. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just something that makes me so happy. So I get to like combine those two and like, yeah, I feel like it just breaks for me, like if I had to get up on stage and talk for an hour,
Mm.
I would be shaking in my boots. But it's like I get to like sing and it just all melts away. There's just something like so freeing about it, I
Yeah.
think. And yeah, I used to be so scared to get on stage and now I'm like that is my favorite. That's
Mm-mm.
my favorite thing I do. Like I love every part of creating music, but like getting to be on stage and like look at people in their faces and sing to them is like, I don't know, it's just something so special. I
Yeah.
can't even really explain like what makes me do it. I just like have to do
and
it.
so it would be safe to assume that you're looking forward to your tour coming up.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm also playing the shows like solo acoustic, which is
Mm.
my favorite way to play
Hmm.
because I can just like mix up a song on the spot or just like change things or it's like so open. Like I could just get up there and be like, I'm just gonna switch my songs. The band doesn't have to know. So it's like it's such a
Right.
fun way to play. It's very intimate.
Ah, love that. Love that. And hearing where the performance comes from is in how what music and writing and singing does for you. Is that I listening to you have a new song out called "The Crime."
Mm,
I totally get where you're coming from and everything that you're saying with that song.
yeah.
It's a powerful song, and I feel like it's an important song. It really is, and but I was saying earlier, how are you ever afraid to bring stuff, your music to people to listen, to get input stuff? Was that, did you have any of that with this song?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I wrote I wrote most of the song like by myself, which I
Mm-hmm.
think super needed to happen. It was honestly just to process the event. It was not I wasn't ever thinking I would release it because it's like very heavy and
Mm-hmm.
serious. Um, And it was like, I was feeling that stuff just like so vividly. And I was like, you have to get this out.
Hmm.
And then when I did get it out, I was like, wow, actually, this is pretty good. Like, I feel like this is saying exactly what I wanted to say. And I like showed it to like friends and family, and they
Hmm.
were like, wow, like this is hitting me in a way, especially like my female friends and family. They were like, oh my God, I relate to this so much, even if, a man hasn't hit me with his car. It's like the feeling of being scared to walk alone at night, all these things
Right.
like we all feel. And so that's kind of what gave me the push to think maybe I will share this with the world. And I ended up bringing it to two writers that I was working with to help me finish it. And I didn't even expect for that to be the song we worked on. We just like, we started having such a deep conversation, and I ended up telling them the story, and I just felt like a super safe space. And I was like, you know what? Let's actually work on this. Like they both treated it with such care and
Hmm.
like respect. Like they understood how important it was for me to say. And
Hmm.
so they like let me take the lead and just helped me like hone it and refine it and make it like something that I could, put out into the world. So it was, yeah, it was a really beautiful process, but it was very challenging and like intimidating
Yeah.
to create.
I bet. And yeah, and you know, part of the human experience that I like is obviously we're all different people,
Hmm.
and we're all going to have, things that aren't there are going to be ours, that are going to be, our experiences. And you know, I've had conversations with my girlfriend, and like it blows my mind about the female issues, the day to day issues that go on that other females know about, and
Hmm.
but us dumb men are just oblivious because we're just because we're stupid. And it just blow. And I don't know, it's I love learning, and I love being aware. And yeah, something like this, like not even being able to walk in the street or at night. Yeah, I remember a time when my first job, I was 17, and we, working downtown, and the my female coworkers were just like, "Hey, can you?" I would be working late. Hey, can you walk me to your car? Oh yeah, of course, no problem. And I just thought, oh, they just want to keep talking some more. Okay, blah blah blah. And then it hit me. Oh no, like this is something, like this is a more for safety. And it just, yeah, I'm just like, I you know, I don't know. I want to say stuff, but I'm just like, this world sucks. That's
I
the
know that's
it.
where it comes
That's where,
down.
yes, where it comes. I'm like, why is this a thing? That you have to deal with. It does. Like, I'm just this. I don't know. I'm getting emotional. I'm getting mad just thinking about it. But yeah.
I know. No, I get it. I also feel that way because it can feel very hopeless because
Mm,
it's like how realistically like I'm not sure, and I'm like such a positive person, but like I'm
mm,
not sure that there is like ever going to be a world in which like women aren't afraid.
mm-hmm.
Like we never have not been,
Yeah.
like throughout history, it's always been unsafe and dangerous to be a woman, and
Yeah.
it still is, even though like we've come so far with like women's rights and so many things.
Right.
Uh, but I think it's something, and it's almost something that because we're like, well, this is how it is, that we almost like don't talk about it
Mm-hmm.
enough. And that's kind of like what I found as I was working on the song and then like coming to release it is people are like, wow, why don't we talk about this more?
Mm-hmm.
You felt this, every single person, every single woman who listens to my song is like, oh yeah, I can pinpoint exactly like a time I was scared or a time I
Right.
thought my life was in danger, or more seriously, like a time that something actually happened to them. And as I was writing it, I was thinking a lot about my friends who have been sexually assaulted,
Mm-hmm.
because while what happened to me was a physical assault, it felt, it was because I was a woman who ignored this man's advances, and that's why he felt the need to follow me and hit me with his car. And that is still that brings up those similar feelings of, oh, this person thought that he deserved me in some way. And I think that's a lot of times what can happen when someone is sexually assaulted. It's like, oh, this person thought they were owed me or my body. And it's so upsetting.
It's
but
yes,
it happens all the time.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I have more friends than I would like to that have been sexually assaulted. And so I was thinking of them like so much as I was writing it, because it was like, yes, this is important for all women, but especially if like something like this has happened to you, like you totally get just that feeling of like helplessness and fear.
yeah. It's the amount of my female friends that have gone through. It's so I it's so upsetting, and it's just so like it makes me angry. Just that male mentality that, oh, like you said, like, oh no, you owe me, you like, what do you? And it's just so, I'm gonna, excuse my language. It's just so fucked up, and so fucked up way of thinking. And it like, it's the reason why I hate men. I truly do. I have more female friends than guys. Because man, the men are the worst, and I pray for like the women uprising, where we're all enslaved. Men are enslaved. Like I'll be happily done. Fine with me. But it's just, it just makes me sad that that's a reality of this world, and that I don't know, more can be done. More really could get done.
Sure. I like learned as I was like, researching for this song that 1 in 3 women have experienced violence in their lifetime, which is just insanely high. And that number could be so much more, considering how little these types of things are reported.
Right.
Like specifically sexual assault and domestic violence. Those are things that there is like, unfortunately, such like a stigma and shame for women reporting, and it often gets swept under the rug, or people don't believe you.
Right.
And you think about like Monica Lewinsky, how she was absolutely torn apart by media.
Yeah,
this
wow.
20-year-old girl, however old she was, like,
yeah,
these types of things. It's like, we know what comes to women who speak up about what happened to them.
Right.
And so why would I put myself through that? And even in my, just sharing my experience in releasing this song, I've gotten hate comments, and I know there's trolls out there, and you just like come to expect that. But, people shaming me for just trying to tell my story, and I can't imagine, what some of these women have gone through. I think it's more of like a media issue at this point in our like society, is that we need to stop portraying these things. Or like, you think about like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard whole fiasco, and I didn't even really follow that, but I just saw like all the misogyny, and it's like, it's so ingrained that people don't even realize it's misogyny. It's so part of our system. And it's like, I think that is the key, is like reframing our perspective on these things, because we're never going to get like a lot of men to stop being dicks. Like,
right. They're all like that. It's just like, they can't help it. They're just assholes. Right.
And there is a lot going on behind the scenes also, of like the radicalization of young men, and how they feel this need to be like over masculine, and this toxic masculinity. And so like there are things, I think, as a society we could improve on in that light. But then I think the biggest thing is like, we need to change the way we view these things. And I feel like to bring more awareness and to share our stories is like the best way to do that, because you and I obviously have a ton of male friends. There are so many men in my life that I love so much, and they are horrified by these things too. So it's like, when we start talking about it, when we start getting it out there, they're like, oh, what? Like, this is not cool. I didn't even like a lot of men are just ignorant about the issues because they can be. It's like a
Right.
privilege.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
have to think about it, so they don't. And it's like the more we can talk about it, and if you force people to think about it, then usually their empathy will win out. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is messed up."
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I think that's the first step.
Yeah. Yeah. Just being open to talk and also listen. Just
Right.
the people.
This
Yeah.
current society, we struggle
I
with the listening.
know. Ugh. This. Yeah. I don't. Ugh. I'm not going political, but just know my eyes are just rolling because of everything that's going on these days.
It's exhausting. I mean, there's no middle ground. Everyone's just at each other's throats all the
Yeah.
time. It's tough. How do you get anything done when
Right.
no one will meet in the middle?
Right. It's yeah, and I feel like that's uh on the side of I don't know whatever side you on. I not you, but just in general, I feel like they think that's a victory. Hey, nothing got accomplished. We sure did it. Good for us. And it's
Right.
like what?
Totally.
What? I mean, everything's
It's
shit right
certainly in
now.
all aspects of our lives
Yeah.
that unwillingness to change and to see other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
There needs to be like a radical overhaul of the
Yes.
way we like our it's almost like our pride. Like just
Mm.
be open
Hmm.
and listen and try to understand. It relates to everything. There's
Right.
so many, ways that it comes back to that.
Right. Right. And I the big thing that has been really annoying me, like these past couple of months, year, whatever, is just people, weaponizing the word woke. Because I'm just like, what you have a problem with being woke, with just kind of being kind to each other and
Well,
understanding
yeah,
each
do you
other.
mean being educated?
What?
That
That's you're weaponizing that? Like what the hell's the matter? You're from the South. You were brought up on these values. What are you talking about? So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's the same with the word feminist. And I've
yeah.
encountered that when trying to promote this song, as people react really negatively
Hmm.
to the word feminist. I'm like, wait, why? You mean just wanting equal rights for women? Like, how did this become so weaponized?
Right.
Like, let's get back to take all of the words and the meanings that we've assigned to them out of it and just like, what don't you want? A better, more peaceful world? That's
Right.
what we want to. That's what we want to.
Right, right. It's yeah, the thought process on people just doesn't make sense. It's just like we're just trying to be peaceful. You're the one getting mad at me for being me. Fuck.
Right. I will
Lord.
say though, overall, like the reception to the song has been like overwhelmingly positive from
Yeah.
women and men. Like particularly women just because they feel so seen by it, but
Hmm.
also just people being like, "Wow, this has opened my eyes." And I think that's like we need more of that.
Yeah.
We need to share and we need to be vulnerable because I think it can impact people.
Yes, absolutely. And that's again, that's what I got out of it. Just thinking about experiences, like I was just flooded with things when I was younger. I was like, yeah, yeah, oof. And
Totally.
yeah, and I have a niece, and I just kind of think about the world she's entering, and yeah, it's just okay. I would love it to be a different kind of world for her, for you, for everyone. My girlfriend, just like let's just be nice to each other. At the end of the day, nobody owes anybody anything, and we should be okay with that.
Hmm. Yeah. It's yeah, it's tough. We're never gonna make it perfect, but we can
Yeah,
try.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, I think that's why these conversations are important.
For sure.
Um, and so just kind of tie it all back. And again, I know I mentioned the song The Crime. For people who want to check out that song, be moved by it, see you when you go on your tour, or just keep up with you on the online, where can they do that?
Yeah. So on most social media, I'm just at Taylor Bickett. B as in boy, Ickett, as I always say, on the phone or at a hotel counter. And I'm also, I think if you are looking to listen to The Crime, my new song, you should watch the YouTube video. It's on my channel. If you just search The Crime, Taylor Bickett, it'll come up. We got a group of women to help me create this and tell the story. And it's like a full female cast and crew. It's really moving. I mean, I can't watch it without tearing up.
Yeah.
I think it really puts a visual aspect to the song. So I'd highly recommend that if you are going to listen. And then, yes, I am going on tour in Nashville, New York, DC, LA, and Chicago. They're sort of spread out over the next 2 months. My Nashville show is next Friday, April 11th, so really coming up. But you can find all that information on my social media or taylorbickett.com. Pretty much just Google me. I'll be there.
There we go. And Taylor, just thank you so much for the conversation and for everything that you're doing, the music. And whenever you want to come back, just say the word, okay?
Thank you so much. This has been great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. But I'll let you go and hang out, writing music and taking care of your friend's cat.
I will. Shout out Tuna.
There we go. But yes, you keep staying safe and healthy and have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.